All right, good Monday morning to you in North Texas, bringing you in with some good tunes. Thank you so much for waking up with us on Daybreak. I'm Matt Howerton.
And I'm Dia Wall. We're going to get you up to speed on the developing situation in the Middle East coming up in just a moment. But first, we got to get you ready to start the day. Traffic anchor Stacia Wilson joining us this morning and meteorologist Greg Fields. Yeah. How's the commute looking?
So I seriously, I say this to y'all whenever I feel like I've jinxed something, but I feel like I've jinxed something. I said I-30 was fine, and now we've got multiple problems, but I'm going to show you where it's happening.
Okay. You're not a jinx, Dave.
You don't think I'm a jinxer?
No,
okay.
It's not you.
All right, yeah. Weather-wise, quiet out there, dry right now, but it's not going to stay that way. We will have some very low coverage with showers and storms today, but that's going to increase here as we go through the latter half or the middle of the week, and we'll talk about some changes down the road. But what you need to know, heading on out the door with those cloudy skies for you this morning. We'll see those temperatures that'll be nice and warm for you, but with the weather, it is going to stay active here this week with more strong, severe thunderstorms possible across the area, especially for the middle of the week. Now, I mentioned those changes down the road. We will have some noticeably cooler air moving in as we get into next weekend, so we're looking forward to that. But for right now, 70 degrees taking you on out to our studios here. Those gusty south winds, upper 60s to around 70 for everyone. So it's going to be a warm, breezy start out there as well. Any isolated showers and thunderstorms well to the south and east now, so we're going to be rain-free heading on out the door. Coverage through the afternoon hours today, probably less than 20%, those brisk south winds, and we'll be in the low mid 80s as we come home later today. But more on those storm chances increasing later this week coming up. Now let's get back over to Stacia, checking on traffic.
All right, thanks, Greg. And the southbound lanes of I-35W are back open in Tarrant County after a deadly crash overnight involving 6 vehicles. It happened around 11 p.m. at the I-35W and I-20 split. Fort Worth police say several people were taken to the hospital to be treated and one person died. The department says they are still investigating what caused that crash, and of course we'll continue to update you on the situation as we learn more about it. Right now I can show you what's happening along I-35W at Rosedale in Tarrant County. That's just north of that location, just north of the I-35W I-20 split. Traffic moving along just fine here now. We do have a problem, as I mentioned before, along I-30. This time it's in the Arlington area. Around the Arlington area, you can see that stretch of red on your map. That backup is starting to build there, I-30 eastbound at Fielder. And over in Dallas County, just north of downtown Dallas, we do have this problem. Looks like hopefully it's in the clearing stages. They've got a wrecker on the scene, but 35W northbound at Lemon, a little bit slower there as a result of a collision. Everything else is moving along just fine, just starting to pick up a little bit with that morning rush as folks are waking up and hitting the roads. Hey, be safe wherever you're headed. Matt, Dia?
Stacia, we appreciate that. This morning, tensions remain high in the Middle East. A huge focus now on the Strait of Hormuz.
That's a key passageway for trade between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Over the weekend, the president said the U.S. military will take action to block Iranian ports there, something Iran says it will take as a break in the 2-week ceasefire.
Just talking about it has already sent oil prices back up. Natalie Haddad is live for us this morning following those developments overnight. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning to you all in studio. Oil prices did surge overnight, and while we are not seeing them as high as that was last week, we are still going to feel these impacts here at the pump. Behind me is, you can see that the prices show $3.75 a gallon, and the rest of the state averaging about the same. This is according to AAA. Dallas County also seeing about $3.74 a gallon, but the national average $4.12. Now, the U.S. military says it will begin blocking Iranian ports and coastal areas starting today. This is a step back from President Trump's earlier threat to completely shut down the Strait of Hormuz. This decision comes after a long, high-stakes ceasefire talk between the U.S. and Iran and Pakistan that ended without a deal. U.S. Central Command does say ships traveling between non-Iranian ports will still be allowed to pass through the strait. So to wrap that up, Strait of Hormuz is still pretty much closed except for a few key parts. So we are still going to see our oil and gas prices affected. Yesterday, we saw it raise up 8% to $103 a barrel. Not quite as high as the $111 we saw last week, but guys, it is only Monday. I'll send it back to you, Dia.
All right, Natalie, thank you. And still ahead this morning on Daybreak, ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce is joining us from D.C. with more on the president's plan to get U.S. troops involved. Again, that's ahead at 6:30.
Week 2 in the trial of Tanner Horner begins today. It picks back up at 9 this morning. Last week, the former FedEx driver pleaded guilty in the 2022 murder of 7-year-old Athena Strand. So this is the sentencing phase. The death penalty's on the line. So far, jurors have heard emotional testimony. They've also seen graphic photos and videos. Senior investigative reporter Tanya Iser is leading our gavel-to-gavel coverage of the trial. She joins us ahead at 6:30 to preview what's expected this week in court.
Now to a developing story out of Duncanville. Police have a man in custody for allegedly shooting and killing someone outside of a bowling alley just after midnight Sunday. Duncanville police say this happened at Redbird Lane's bowling alley off Main Street. When officers arrived, they found a man with a gunshot wound. He later died at the hospital. A second victim is expected to survive. Witnesses told police the suspected shooter ran from the scene. Officers used drones to find him a few blocks away. He now faces a murder charge.
All right, now let's get you to 3 things that you need to know this morning. Fort Worth ISD dealing with more than 200 teaching vacancies as it navigates its TEA takeover. The district has more than 140 schools and 60% have at least one vacancy. The largest number for one school is sitting at 7 at South Hills High School and Como Success Academy. We are 3 weeks into Dr. Peter Licata taking over as superintendent for the state, along with a new board of managers. If you still haven't filed your taxes yet, you've got until this Wednesday. It's also the deadline to file an extension if you need more time. The IRS recommends filing electronically, but if you're planning to mail in your return, do it now. A new change at the U.S. Postal Service means some mail may no longer arrive at processing facilities on the same day that it is mailed. And it is WNBA Draft Day. The Dallas Wings have the #1 pick again, and they're celebrating with a party for fans. It's happening at the Happiest Hour in downtown Dallas, starting at 5:30. It's free to get in, and as we mentioned, this is the second straight year the Wings are taking the top player in the draft. Last year, they took Paige Beckers, who went on to be Rookie of the Year.
Maybe you heard it, or maybe you heard about it. People in East Dallas and Lakewood say the bass from a weekend concert sounded like it was right next door, but it was actually coming from Fair Park, 4 miles away, for 2 nights straight.
Fired up about it last night.
If they can keep it in Fair Park and find a way to keep the volume a little bit down, then why not?
We heard from businesses and neighbors about all the noise. Dallas Parks and Rec says it wants Fair Park to be vibrant, but not at the expense of quality of life. Leaders plan to review the event this week to see what they can improve. A council member says stage placement and weather likely caused the sound to travel farther than expected. We heard it.
Yes.
6:07 on your Monday, and still ahead this morning, a very Texas sight at a local Target.
Well, we're working to find out this morning after this guy right here. Yeah, that's not where that's supposed to be, was spotted in the parking lot.
I'm Chris Sadeghi in Fort Worth, where voters have a chance tonight to get a better understanding of how their tax dollars may or may not be spent before they head to the polls on May 2nd. What are they spending $845 million on, and where's that money coming from? We'll talk about it coming up in 30 minutes.
An unusual battle in a North Texas neighborhood. Why people are going to great lengths to keep birds from nesting.
Maybe the rain will scare them off. We have a few rounds of that here coming up in the next several days. As we're talking the potential impacts and timeline, and we're talking cool down this weekend.
Yeah, big cool down coming our way in that extended forecast. We'll get more on that. And those are storm chances coming our way this week when Daybreak continues. As we go to break, a nice looking view there from Dallas Baptist University. We have seen some light rain, a little drizzle overnight there. Cloudy skies otherwise, but some very low storm chances later today. We'll have more on that when Daybreak continues.